everyone, and welcome back to Meals on Wheels Interactive Cookbook. Today our guest cook is Laura.
Hello.
And as usual, we're working on recipe ideas based on the National Meal Guidelines for older people. We're very keen for people to understand there's a difference between the nutritional needs of people over the age of 65 and those that are younger. And we're going to show you some handy tips and techniques for getting your nutrient and protein levels up. Today's recipe suggestion comes from Roger. And Roger sent us a message last week to say that he really loves fishing. And one of the things that he really liked to do was, when he had a big load of fish, his wife would cook it up with parsley sauce and they'd have a whole bunch of friends around and a really lovely evening. But Roger's wife has since died and he really misses those social nights out. So he's asked us if we can show him how to make parsley sauce. So I thought one of the things that would be a really great thing for us to show you was how to make a basic white sauce, or as it's called in the cookbooks, Laura?
Bechamel sauce.
We're going to teach you how to make a white or bechamel sauce and how you can adapt it to dozens of other recipes. We're also going to show you how to make it in a very nutrient-dense way that will help older people absorb more nutrients, because as you get older, your stomach lining and your gut isn't able to absorb nutrients the same way it did when you were younger. So you've got to boost things up a bit. So as you can see, the ingredients and the utensils that we need for white or bechamel sauce are very simple. 2 ounces of butter or margarine, whichever is your preference. Just remembering that once you get over the age of 70, low-fat diets aren't recommended. You actually need to get as much vitamin A and vitamin D into you as possible. 2 tablespoons of butter is a good way of measuring it as well. The equivalent amount of flour, 2 tablespoons of flour, just plain white flour, don't use self-raising or it'll foof everywhere, and 1 cup of full cream milk. Now, if you're concerned that you have lost a bit too much weight or you think you need more calcium, you can add a couple of tablespoons of skim milk powder or dried milk powder to this. Just whisk it really well with your whisk so it isn't lumpy, and you'll have bumped the protein and calcium content up by quite a bit. So we're going to use a wooden spoon to stir it with, and later on we'll finish it off with a whisk, which is great for getting any of those nasty lumps out. So what temperature do you think we should put the stovetop on?
A low temperature and then bump it up to a medium.
When do you bump it up to the medium?
Once the butter's melted.
Once the butter's melted. Okay, so when you're melting the butter, do you let it bubble at all?
No, don't let it bubble. Just melt it and then add the flour and give it a mix until it turns into like a slurry or a smooth paste. And then you can turn the temperature up and let it bubble away for 1 minute.
So you mix it around until it makes kind of a paste.
Yeah.
In French cooking it's called a roux.
Yes.
When it gets going, when it's kind of sizzling away, it's a good idea to cook it for how long?
A minute.
For a minute.
But keep stirring it.
Okay.
So it doesn't stick to the edge.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a small amount, it'll stick easier.
And it's important to cook it for that long. Why?
To cook the flour out of it so it doesn't taste like a raw...
Oh, like raw flour?
Yeah, like raw flour.
Okay.
It's also better for your stomach.
Nice.
Okay, here we go. It's starting to bubble. And you should be able to smell it cooking as well.
Mmm, butter.
Okay, once it's bubbling, you can turn it back down. So just stir it so it doesn't burn.
And I can see parts of it are going a little bit white. Does that mean the flour's cooking off? So that's a good thing to look out for.
Okay, I'm just going to take it off the heat. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of milk.
Why just a little bit?
Just so it incorporates easier, and then once that's mixed you can add more milk.
Oh look, you can
Just
see
a little
it's
bit at a
thickening
time.
up
Yeah.
almost straight
It'll
away.
make like a glue, and then add more milk.
Now, can I tell you Gail's tip?
Sure.
So Gail says, this is Gail from New South Wales Meals on Wheels. She says if you use cold milk, you can put it all in at once. You just have to make sure it doesn't go lumpy, and that's what the whisk is for.
Now that it's sort of a smooth paste, you can add the rest of the milk and use the whisk.
So if you haven't got a whisk, what else could you use?
A fork would probably be the easiest.
Okay.
Everyone's got forks.
Yeah. That looks lovely. Nice colour. Oh, I hope you're looking forward to this, Roger.
Oh, Roger has been on our case for weeks.
So do you let it boil or?
Yeah, it should come to a slow boil, but like whisk it every 10 seconds or so.
Okay.
You can bump the heat back up.
Do you think it would be a good idea to put some salt and pepper in, or better off without it?
I think put some salt and pepper in, add a bit of flavour. Okay, now it's come to the boil.
Okay.
Okay, now we can take it off the heat.
And about when do we put the parsley in? I hope you're paying attention, Roger. When do we put the parsley in? Salt and pepper and parsley now.
About half a teaspoon.
That's probably about that.
Yep. And as much pepper as you want.
Black or white?
Traditionally they'd use white, but I like black pepper. Okay, now we can add the parsley. And that's it. Enjoy your dinner, Roger.
So Roger, we're all hoping you're enjoying your fish and parsley sauce, but I just thought I might show you a few things that you can add to parsley sauce and make a real meal out of it just by itself. So if you like onion flavour, add a few chopped up chives, or spring onions is nice, or if you want to saute some onions, that's nice as well. Add half a cup of grated cheese. The trick with the cheese though is just let the sauce cool just a little bit before you put the cheese in, because it's actually quite rich. It can make the sauce curdle and no one will want to eat it then. If you want to make a really hearty meal out of it, cook up a cup of any of your favourite pasta. I like penny pasta, or pardon my pronunciation, because nice juicy sauces get caught inside the tubes. So a cup of cooked pasta, half a cup of frozen peas, fantastic extra source of protein. And if you really want to treat yourself, flake up a small can of salmon, either red or pink, whatever is your choice. And there you go, you've got salmon mornay. You never thought white sauce was that versatile, did you? So our white sauce recipe and all of the clever things that you can do with it are in our next copy of the Relish magazine, available from your Meals on Wheels service. So next week's episode, we're going to build on our white sauce making skills and follow up from a request from Mary. Mary wants to know how to make a really nice 3-cheese souffle. So another wonderful thing that you can do with white sauce. Alrighty, see you all then. Bye.